Hello, welcome to this channel. I'm Paul Friedman, founder of the Marriage Foundation. Now, just so you have some reason to suspect that we're different from everyone else, let me begin by telling you I'm not a psychologist, nor am I someone who went through it with his wife and found the mystery keys of success in marriage. Actually, ironically, I was a divorce mediator until 2001. I was actually doing quite well. And then a couple asked me to help them save their marriage. And they were referred to me by a couples counselor. That's where I got all of my business. And so I said yes. I did a deep dive into marriage from a different perspective than Western psychology. Instead of trying to unravel things and work out negotiations and see if we can figure out what's wrong, I asked myself a question that I had never asked before and was blown away. First of all, that I never asked that question, and then by the answer that I received. I'm going to share that with you right now. Please subscribe. Please like the video. Leave a comment. Here's the question. Why do we get married? A simple question, right? And when I asked that question of myself, I realized it's just what you do, I guess. I want to be with her for the rest of my life, yada yada. Now you know what era I come from. And then I realized, wow, if that's why we get married, then obviously we should be doing everything we can to keep the marriage happy. And I then asked, okay, well, what makes you happy? And I'm not talking about the kind of happy that you get when you get a new car or a new job or you meet someone exciting or you go to a good movie. I'm talking about that deep happiness. And it took me a while to answer that question, but the answer is obvious again: love. Love is the common denominator. It is literally the only thing that you can count on making you happy, period. When you're feeling love, it is impossible to feel anything other than happiness. It's just the way things are. And so I thought, okay, if that's all it is, then we have to go back to the mind. Every time the mind speaks, we listen. And the mind is habitual. All of our reactions to everything are habitual. We talk about free will, but I realized we don't have any free will. So what I did with them right away in the first meeting was I said, okay, next time you have a thought that's going to bring unhappiness into your relationship, and this leads us into the topic, how to connect with your spouse when their walls are up. This leads into this. Change your thinking. You have free will, use it to change your thinking. And long story short, it took a few sessions, but it totally worked. Then I spent the next 8 years developing system, working with people, and I had plenty of referrals because as a divorce mediator, I was working with Second Saturday, a support group for people getting a divorce, and so I had plenty of customers. And I developed this thing. Then we went online. Great courses now. We save thousands of marriages. I wish we didn't get people only who were in the throes of suffering, because this is the stuff everyone needs. And so what's the difference between us and everyone else? Well, I don't have any fancy anything. It's really simple. And so when people come to us, they're getting straight shooting, crystal clear, here's what to do, and it's not about the issues. It's about inner work. It's about understanding your spouse. It's about understanding the hierarchy of body, mind, and soul. And then it's about, I got tools. I'm going to tell you how I got them. I'm a meditator, and so I asked God to help me, and He did. And so what we have now is amazing. Our success rate for people who take our courses is 98%. I don't know if you need the course. I also wrote a couple of books, and so that might be enough. Just watching these videos might be enough. So here we go. Now I'm finally getting into the topic. Okay, Paul, you took all our time. So here it is. How to connect with your spouse when their walls are up. So, why are their walls up? See how I do everything? I ask the question and supply the answer. Their walls are up because they're angry and they don't want to interact with you right now. And why not? Well, let me put it this way. If in the past their walls were up and you knocked down their walls by pushing and pulling and all of that, there'd be a fight. So there's no benefit to them to lower their walls. You're not going to lower their walls. We all have our own individual free will. So they need to feel good about lowering their walls. So now this is not about here's what you do with them, because that won't work. Here's what you do with you. You pull back and you go, I need to be the loving husband or wife that I promised I would be when we got married. I have to change myself, not just at this moment when their walls are up, but I have to change myself and get my marriage back into the positive trend that we had going from the time we met until the time we got married. Interestingly, believe it or not, most people are fighting even before they get married. There should be zero fighting in your marriage. Marriage is about happiness. The binding agent in marriage is the reason we get married, love. So that's what you need to change yourself into. And I promise you, if you do a good job, which is what our course is all about, very, very high quality methodology, when you change yourself into that loving spouse who they experienced before you got married, before there was any complaining, before there was bickering, before there was chastisement and all of the nonsense that goes on in a typical marriage, when you become that person who they first met, and yes, it's super realistic, and it can be for the rest of your life realistic, but you can't just get married and expect everything to go your way. You need to, think of your marriage as a vessel. I call it the sacred space of marriage. If you have a container and all you do is put in honey, sugar, maple syrup, and all these things, it might taste a little weird, but it's sweet. This is what you want your marriage to be, filled with sweetness. And it's up to you whether you're going to do that or not. Do you see? Okay, so go to our website. You could download the free top 10 do's and don'ts, but make your marriage amazing. Never give up. Don't worry about the walls. Don't blame them for putting up walls. Take it upon yourself to change yourself back into that amazing woman, amazing man who they fell in love with, so these walls don't occur again. I'm Paul Friedman. I'm the founder of the Marriage Foundation. Leave a comment, leave a like. God bless you. Come back again. Thank you, and see you next time.